podcast is for adult audiences. Hey, kids, go to bed. Your mom and dad or legal guardian or creepy uncle wants to listen to this podcast in peace. They want to pour a drink. Get earmuffs, because there will be offensive language and adult themes. So listener discretion is advised. If you're looking for, I don't know, a podcast that details the last 700 items purchased on Sara's Amazon Prime membership.
Ooh, do you have a wish list?
No.
Me neither. If you're looking for a podcast about how to keep your fucking houseplants alive, I'd like that, because I'm not a good plant mom.
If you'd like a podcast that talks a bit about more other types of podcasts that are out there.
More other. Or if you're looking for a podcast that's about houseplants and how to take care of, I don't know. This is our unscripted podcast. This is not the podcast
for you. I'm Sara, that's Haley, and we're here to do an unscripted recording of Rewind, a Star Trek podcast all about Nemesis.
Sounded like
I'm a snake now.
I'm a snake now. Ooh,
man.
I watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and it was about a boa constrictor that latched onto some guy's arm and then started coiling around him.
Gross. I want to rewatch House.
Yeah.
At least the first 3 seasons.
Oh no, man, 4. Because of that episode. That episode was Wilson and what's her face when she wakes up from the bus crash.
Yeah. Amber.
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah. I just know that the last couple of seasons were meh. But I also
for sure
getting the itch to do a Sons of Anarchy rewatch again, just because we've kind of piled through a lot of stuff and we're really just waiting for the next season of Succession. We're waiting for the next season of Yellowstone. We're waiting for the next. Oh, have you watched on Netflix Only Murders in the Building?
No, is that the one with Selena Gomez?
Selena Gomez, Martin Short, and Steve Martin?
Yeah.
Adorable.
Really?
I was I saw the thing and I was like, I don't want to watch that. And then I read the premise and I was like, I want to watch this. Do you know anything about it?
Just that a murder occurs in the building or something, and she's a true crime buff. They're all true
crime buffs, and that's how they meet. Is the fire alarm is pulled of this expensive New York building, and so a lot of people found themselves guess we'll go to the restaurant next door until we can go back in our building. And so they've all seen each other in the elevator, and then but they don't like each other. They're kind of avoiding each other. And he was there with this nerdy map about this true crime podcast. He's trying to figure out who did it. And the other guy saw it. He's like, are you listening to it? And then he's like, oh, are you? I'm such a fan. And then something happens in their own building and they're like, we should do our own podcast. And it's really cute. It's very sweet. Holly from The Office is in it as well. I highly recommend it. And the last episode had a scene that was so funny that Brad was crying. And that's
really
something that we were I cry laughing all the time, but he thought it was funny. It's very Steve Martin, Martin Short, cute. And she was lovely. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. So we watched that, and I know there's going to be another season, so I'm excited for that. And we're watching The Righteous Gemstones, and
so good,
so good. And what else just came on? Well, Brad's been watching Picard with me, so we just watched the most recent episode. I have the screener for the next one, so I'm trying not to watch it so that we can watch together next week. But just because watching them back to back is sometimes too much. I don't need to rewatch something right away. But.
Exactly.
There's lots of TV out there. Our stupid Oak Island we found wood again. They've dug 3,000 feet into the dirt and they found a fucking leather shoe from the 20s. This could have been FDR's shoe. No, it's just dirt. It's garbage. Fuck off. Why have I watched this for 9 seasons? I almost want to take a trip to go to Oak Island in Nova Scotia and be like, someone hand me a shovel. I'll figure this out myself. It's ridiculous.
I'm worried that that's what's going to happen. You're 9 seasons deep and you're like, look, I'm going to crowdfund a fucking trip. Forget crowdfunding. I'll pay for it myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to quit my job. This is my new job. I'll show you how it's done.
I sent you a couple of links for a couple of trailers because two things dropped yesterday. Hey, belated happy first contact. It's only like, what, 34 years from now or 40 years from now? First contact's happening.
2063, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 83. I'll be ready. I'll go to Montana and in my 80s to see if this all happens.
Let's book our trip now. We'll
get a good deal.
Can you?
The sooner you book, the better price you get, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
I wish I had booked STLV even earlier. Prices are going up. Flights are getting to be stupider, but it's all right. It's all right. I don't care. I haven't been anywhere for 2 years. I'm going to spend money on this trip. I don't give a shit. I don't care if it costs me, what did I say, $3,000 a night at Circus? I'm going.
The low ceilings. Oh, I hate it there.
The big surprise was the drop of the teaser trailer for season 3 of Picard. No one knew that was coming, and that was the first contact day surprise. What did you think?
Well, I think we had the same reaction. Didn't you cry?
I felt tears well up in my eyes, which is a lot for me.
Yeah. That's how I felt too. I was really surprised to hear Michael Dorn's voice.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is happening. And then I don't know, it just made me feel like so happy.
I know. So happy.
Happy.
And I saw somebody, and this is where anybody can at me on Twitter about being a fucking unprepared asshole, but there was somebody that was tweeting about this. I'm thinking it's one of the showrunners or one of the writers, or people were kind of coming at him with questions like, oh, people are freaking out, right? And basically the question was a little bit about Worf, because, as we know, Worf went to DS9 and there was the Dominion War and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, I'm not talking anything about Worf, but I'm really happy about where he ended up. Or something like that. Like there's going to be like, we're taking the time and energy to give these people a story of, it's not just a cameo. It's going to, or if it is just a cameo, it's going to make sense about who they are. Because if you've been watching Picard and you watched the first season, the Easter eggs, the callbacks, the references are so on point that you can tell the writers and producers are fans.
Yeah.
It's just like the guy doing Lower Decks. Like some people don't love it because they're like, oh, a half-hour comedy Star Trek? I'm not used to this. But the innuendo, the throwbacks, the these are all people that are like, oh man, you're just as into it as the rest of us. Like you've watched these shows, you love the jokes, you want to make the references, and it's like, I like that because it's like watching the Marvel films. Anybody can watch them and enjoy them, but if you're a big super nerd fan, like there's going to be little extras in there for you that you get excited about, and everybody else is like, oh, I still can follow along.
Exactly.
Lost, right? So just those voices, like, oh man, big time stuff.
Epic. Yes. Yep. Can't wait. Excited. I'm slowly picking up on Picard season 2, so just saw the second episode, which was like super awesome and amazing, and and same, John and I are watching it together, so I just need to hang tight until we're together to do that. And I watched the
trailer for Strange New Worlds.
I had a nap today. I don't know why I'm yawning. That's also why I shouldn't work from home. But I didn't take a lunch break, so that was my nap. Yes, so the trailer for Strange New Worlds, it's so funny. I initially I thought it was a new movie.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, it's not. It's a new series. And I was like, sweet. Because a series is like 10 movies.
Yes. I'm excited for this one because I think it's going to be a lot more like TNG and TOS than any of the other new shows, because I think it's going to be standalone episodes, whereas Discovery and Picard are a full storyline that if you miss an episode, you're kind of screwed. I think this might be a little bit more along the lines of that light humor with a little bit of serious, with a little bit of, I just really liked the three of them when they were on Discovery in season 2. I thought Rebecca Romijn was great. I loved Ethan Peck as Spock. Was never a Spock fan until he came along, and I was like, I like this.
Hello.
And Anson Mount as Captain Pike. Dad alert. Like, yep. all over that. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for this than I thought I would be. More excited for this than I was for the last season of Discovery. Even though I finished watching it and I ended up liking the season as a whole, I'm excited for this. I want something a little bit lighter.
Yeah, totally.
Fun.
I get it. I'm
fun.
excited too.
And it comes fun stuff.
It drops in May.
It does, May 5th. Yeah, it's like no time. It's like a month
with you.
Hells yeah. It's less than a month now. It's the 6th today.
Yeah, it is.
Nemesis.
Oh.
So the guys were slagging it when we met with them. And you know what? Controversial. Fair enough. Because I watched this. I sent you a photo of me with my drink watching it. And I was like, some of this isn't very good. and some of it is good. And then I was reading a lot about the Internet Movie Database trivia and stuff. And it made me really understand why a lot of people hated it.
Oh.
And yeah, I know you love it. Tell me what you love about it.
Well, okay, so maybe part of it is because when it came out in theaters, I was in Hawaii with my parents and my brother, and we went to go see it as a family. And
Cute.
That's just like
good memory.
Exactly. And also, spoiler alert, I was okay when Data died.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of tired of it. And so I was like, this movie has everything. And then of course this movie has everything. And then, I mean, I was of the age, I must have been, well, I can't remember, in my late teens, maybe early mid-teens. And so Tom Hardy, whatever the fuck his name is. Tom Brady.
Imagine if it had been. He only ever did one role, a very obscure.
Yeah. Oh. But I was like, hello, who are you? And even as Shinzon got more and more like falling apart and crazy, I was like, I'm even more into you. I could save you.
Classic feeling.
Yeah, it's totally classic me. I also, because I grew up with TNG, to see Troy and Riker's wedding,
yeah,
I was like, it's perfect.
It's great.
And Picard being a little like making a little joke here and there, and just people having a good time. I just liked the whole premise of it, and I had nothing bad to say about it. I mean, definitely there are some things where you're like, really? Like they're in a dune buggy? That's probably not the best without a windshield. It's going to be sand everywhere. And B4 was it is what it is. It's like a previous android iteration who's super annoying, but you put him in a drawer, he shuts up.
Yep.
Cut him
Lock
into pieces. Down. Yep. I mean, definitely it was funny watching it when it first came out, because I was like, oh shit, these guys are getting up in age. And I mean, that was like 20 years ago or something. So anyway, so Riker ripping around on the metal thingamajigs. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I really liked it. I can understand that people didn't like it. Segue. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, did you like it before you read the IMDb stuff that's going to ruin the movie for me?
So I do like the movie. I mean, the wedding is, what a way to open it. Like you're giddy upon like the singing. You see Wesley, you got Guinan, like it's great. It's cute.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the scene with the dust particles making everyone die, and I was like, whoa, like that's hardcore. Not a good day at the office. Wouldn't want that to happen to me personally. Either way.
I'm a stone now.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't the best. First Contact to me is the best of the TNGs, and I really like Insurrection actually quite a lot.
Too. Yeah, me too.
So this is the third of the three, in my opinion. What
about Generations?
Generations is fine, but I still consider that to be a little bit like a TOS / like I haven't watched it in a very long time. Actually, I really should, because it's on my. I haven't seen it in probably 20 years. if I had known at the time though that was the last TNG movie we were gonna get, I would have been like, come on, like we can do better than that. You know what I mean? Like it was a little bit of like oh, okay, so Data's okay, so oh, I want one more. But I guess like, with Riker's taking off to do his thing, and I guess you just never want it to end, right? But now here we are with Picard season 3 that's going to give us probably exactly what we've been wanting. And it's funny because they've done such justice for Picard. I think with this series, they've done just like the most beautiful wrapping up that gift that we all want. Totally. And everyone has been like, anybody that I know that's on social media that loves Star Trek, like they all have strong opinions. And there's a lot of people who are saying really good things about Prodigy and the work that Kate Mulgrew is doing as bringing back Janeway. And then seeing 7 of 9 doing so good in Picard, I can't help but be like, I really want to see something like this happen for Deep Space Nine, because that is probably the most beloved series by a lot of people. I've really grown to like it. I always kind of get a craving to watch it more than I get a craving to watch any other show, just because a lot of it I've only seen once, right? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I hope somebody somewhere thinks of a way that they can do something like what they did with Picard for this show in some form, whether it's something funny and it's Quark, or it's a Worf thing, or it's I don't know, but it's just, there's some really good writers out there that are those people that are of that age that they grew up with this. So it's that nostalgia for them too. They're not just these writers who are just pumping out stuff because the network told them to. Like these are people who are like, I was raised on those shows. And now even Enterprise, like there's room in the world now to give a nod to Enterprise in some way, because it's just like everyone's hungry for Trek. So Okay, so I did a quick little 6-sentence synopses for this. I know that I didn't say that we had to, but I was like, I got time. I'm going to do something for fun, because this is kind of what we're going to do going forward to take the pressure off of us for a little while with some of these synopses where we have to write a whole manifesto. Mm-hmm. So 6 sentences. Here we go. First off, it's the Riker wedding. They're singing and dancing and familiar faces. Dune buggy racing results in the discovery of another Data who is named B4, and he's not as fancy as Data. Yep. There are Romulans, Remans, and Tom Hardy, who is a Picard clone named Shinzon. Shinzon is rapidly aging and needs a blood transfusion. He can't hear, was raised by the slaves on Remus, and is a creep to Troy, the constant victim of TNG. Picard kills Shinzon, and Data dies saving Picard. B4 sings some song to show he's maybe Data, and Riker is a captain now.
That is it. That's the whole movie. No one needs to watch it.
How did I get in this nutshell?
That part. How did I get in this nutshell? How did I get in here? I love the scene where Picard stabs Shinzon with the rod, and then he like pulls himself. Yes. Gross. Pulls himself closer. I was like,
I've seen that before. Where have I seen that? I think it's a Walking Dead thing I've seen. I think I've seen a zombie do that, because you got to get the zombie in the brain. So if you get them in the guts, they're going to come at you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to stop them.
No, it's not. Power move.
Yeah, to the very end.
Okay, so I'm bringing up the Trello. I didn't separate it out by names, but I put a space, so figure it out. Would you like to start?
Sure.
Okay, so here's some scripted trivia, courtesy of Internet Movie Database, regarding the movie Nemesis.
Okay. Sir Patrick Stewart, or P. Stew, as I like to call him, was paid nearly as much for this film as he made in the entire run of Star Trek TNG.
Woo! $dollar bills, y'all.
That's a raise. You break that glass ceiling. Made. Yeah, I know.
Probably. Yeah. Anyway. Mm-hmm. Michael Dorn was reportedly very upset about Worf having nothing to do. You know what? Good point. Where was Worf in this movie? Is this a TNG
He was on the
movie?
back. Yeah, he was on the back of the dune buggy shooting really terribly, and that was about it.
That's too bad.
We need a Worf movie.
Oh. I like it.
Yeah. The farewell scene in Captain Picard's ready room near the ending had to be reshot after Patrick Stewart unintentionally started crying.
Aww.
Oh.
It's like some of those scenes, like the final seasons of The Office. Like there's just moments where you're like, that's not scripted. They're just, you can just tell. Like it's, I love that.
Oh my God, I'm just seeing now that Nemesis got 5.3 out of 10. No, that is a different Nemesis. Alex, a burned out LA cyborg cop.
That sounds good.
What's
burned out cyber cop? LA cyber cop.
So it got 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Well, that's a pass.
38% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought it was just fine. But maybe not. The reception, critical response. Roger Ebert had mixed feelings.
I got mixed feelings about Roger Ebert. I got mixed feelings about this Barn Girl.
Can I just tell you this? Actors LeVar Burton and Marina Sirtis have spoken unflatteringly on Baird, the director, criticizing him for not watching any of the episodes of TNG. Sirtis has bluntly called him an idiot.
I love that. She said it, not us.
Yeah, and Frakes said that he really liked Tom Hardy, and that if he had directed, as he had done with the previous 2 Trek films, he would have made it less villain-centric and given more time to the regular next-gen cast. Interesting. And even Patrick Stewart said it was a pretty weak finale for TNG, but it's not over because of Picard. Also, I correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Star Trek historically have kind of a shit record for ending series?
Well, yeah, let's
just call it what it is.
I think Deep Space Nine is one of the few that they had given it the full attention and gave it the proper, really good send off. Whereas like Voyager, they're like,
it blows up, right?
You get home, ta-da! Like,
yeah, you're home.
That's one of the few TV series finales that I love it, and I've cried.
TNG, sorry, DS9, Voyager. When they get home. Yeah, fine.
But I would have liked more.
Well, me too. I would have liked them. Exactly. I would have liked them to go on for several more seasons and then maybe gotten home, but that's fine.
All right. What have we got?
Originally, there was to be a follow-up to this film, which would have seen the Enterprise crew crossing over with characters from DS9 and Voyager, as well as featuring Riker's ship, the Titan, and its crew members. Those plans were scrapped due to the film's poor box office reception.
Boom.
Oh, man. What?
That would have been amazing. Jonathan Frakes refused to shave his back for the love scene turned psychic rape with Troy. The hair on his back was digitally removed by an effects house. You're not having fun filming when you get so specific. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, screw you. Digitally edit it out. Good for him.
That is so
Why didn't they leave the back hair in there? Who cares? Back hair. He's a man. He's got hair. Let him do his thing.
My God. What an odd job to have as well. Like today you have to remove Jonathan Frakes' back hair.
Using only Microsoft Paint.
You'd be good at that.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
All right, one more.
Final one. Will Wheaton, he played Wesley, was invited back to the cast by Rick Berman after Wheaton spoke with LeVar on a special Star Trek edition of NBC's The Weakest Link.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
What a bitch. Wheaton remains in the ending credits, although most of his scenes are deleted from the final version of the film, and he can only be seen as a non-speaking extra during the wedding scene. I mean,
bummer.
For everyone but me, isn't that what people wanted?
Yeah, right? Fuck.
Too bad.
Okay, let's move on over to something a little bit lighter. The Goofs.
We got goofs.
Goofy. Did you ever watch those sport Goofy videos when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Where it's like Goofy, the skiing one, I still cry laughing watching that one where he's like trying to get the outfit on, but he's got his skis and he's like all stuck and then so good.
Goofy's like my least favorite Disney character and the only one other than Eeyore that I saw at Disneyland.
There's one thing I would literally, if Disney Plus was to suddenly have this in their library. And they said, Sarah, you specifically have to pay $40 a month for this. And I would. Back in the 80s, probably early 90s when I was a kid, they did this special once in a while, and it was called DTV, and it was instead of MTV. So they would take famous Disney cartoons and put them to music. So it would be like the music videos. So it was like the Chipmunks, and it was Hall & Oates' Kisses on My List. Or it was Stevie Wonder, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, and it was The Tortoise and the Hare. And it was all these different like fun like hour of music videos, but it would be all Disney cartoons. And they were so good. And some of them are on YouTube. And I loved them. And I was like, I want to see all those, because they did a Valentine's one, they did a rock and roll, they did like all these cool little specials.
Oh.
DTV, Disney TV.
Anyway. Today I learned TIL.
Yeah, How I Managed by Michael Scott. Why don't you write a book about it? I already have. It's How I Manage. Michael Scott is the perfect person.
Yeah.
Shinzon's supposedly crooked teeth are straight in some shots, most notably when he's conversing with his viceroy after having dinner with Captain Picard. Viceroy, aka Ron Perlman.
Hello. And a nearly empty plate of food disappears from the table between shots when Picard and Shinzon have dinner together.
What the? Where'd the plate of food go?
Figure it out. I would.
Who moved it?
Like, doesn't matter. I'm not going to get mad about this.
When the Argo fuck yourself Jeep jumps from the shuttle, Picard and Data are not wearing the eye protection goggles as they are just moments later. Have you seen the movie Argo? I love that movie.
I fell asleep.
The guy at the end.
Ben Affleck?
No, the Iranian guard at the airport was really hot.
Sweet. I will watch just for that. Or maybe I'll just fast forward it just for that.
Yeah, it's a very intense scene because they're like trying to flee the country, pretending to be Canadian when they're American, and you have all these fake. It's a really good movie. It's based on true story.
It won a couple of awards, I think.
Greatest movie ever made.
Oh no, that's Nemesis. What kind of laugh was that? Also, I was referring to the Nemesis about the cyborg LA cop.
Yeah.
The photograph of a young Picard, portrayed by Tom Hardy, that Picard examines shows Picard already bald as a cadet in Starfleet Academy, from which he graduated in 2327. It was previously established that Picard still had hair, at least as recently as his time commanding the USS Stargazer, and in 2353. Stargazer!
Like, remember that episode where you see how he got that heart injury from the Nausicaans? He had hair. It was like a Q episode or like a memory, and it was Picard with hair. Yeah.
Yes, of course. I guess, you know what? They were really trying to, like, hammer it home that Shinzon is yeah.
Well,
yeah. They did a bad job, and they should feel bad.
Well, you know, they look nothing alike. Sir Patrick Stewart, where are your full lips that one would want to kiss that Tom Hardy has? Anyway, when the Enterprise first arrives at Romulus, Picard rises from his chair to walk towards the view screen. In the wide shot, the camera pans slightly too far right, revealing the leg and profile of a crew member in street clothes and shoes standing on the bridge. He's fired! Get them the fuck out of here!
Love that!
I can see your fucking sneakers! Bob, get out of the way! Bob, we've talked about this 100 times.
God damn it, Bob! God. After the Argo first jumps from the shuttle and spins around in the sand, Picard's stunt double's face is visible.
I noticed that myself watching the movie. I was like, oh, here we go.
You know what? Sometimes I don't look for those things because I want it to be real.
Somebody in the editing room, come on. Like, were you asleep? Like,
yeah.
But if the director isn't into it and the director doesn't care, then they probably let some things just go, being like, whatever, just
yeah. Like, people aren't going to notice. Were you an NSYNC fan or a Backstreet Boys fan? I feel like you're either one or the other.
I prefer Backstreet Boys, but I was really, my heart always belonged to New Kids on the Block because that was my generation. That was the first boy band. I'm significantly older than you.
Significantly? Well,
But it's
old
significant
enough
in
that
the youth days. Like if you were 11, I was 15. That's a big jump. Or like
for
10
sure.
versus 14. Like,
I never listened to New Kids on the Block.
they were the
So
best.
yeah,
So
I
by the
know
time that
Jordan.
like Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls and Britney, all that came out, I was like 17, 18. So I was a little bit more angsty, and I was like, oh, Nirvana and Alanis Morissette or Hole or whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
is this really what I should be doing with my time right now? Listening to Sara and Haley just ramble on about Nemesis, the greatest Star Trek movie of all time. What's that last one there? Is that for me?
That's you.
Okay, when Data is standing next to the computer during the briefing about Remus and Shinzon, a reflection of the green screen backdrop beyond the briefing room window is visible. Come on.
Oh, I just love that shit. It's like when one of the doors opened on the bridge and you could tell that it was made out of like really cheap plywood, and I was like, sweet. Like the whole wall moved.
Oh my God, painful.
Yeah.
And that's that. And you know what I want to do too? I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, because I didn't do this earlier. So we're going to do it now because unscripted, things get moved around. But you know what? Let me just say real quick, Fansets folks, they're doing some stuff and they've got some pins. And I'm going to go to the website right now because I know that Bill and Dan kind of gave us the lowdown that they're going to have some stuff specific for Chicago coming out. And if it doesn't sell out at Chicago, it'll be available on their website, and it's going to be like the backdrop, the Chicago shot, skyline, and things like that, which is super cool. But I know they had some other stuff come out too. I mentioned Loxana previously, but there were some other ones that I wanted to tell you about specifically. So I'm going to sort by new to old.
Magnet.
We've got Adira from Discovery. We got Loxana. We got the Lower Decks series logo, the Picard series logo. And here it is, the Star Trek Lower Decks Tom Paris plate pin, because in Lower Decks they make the joke like, I have the collector plates from Voyager and I have the Tom Paris collector plate. I want Tom Paris to sign it. And Robert Duncan McNeil did a voice guest star on Lower Decks. And so they have not only the collector plate, but they also have Tom Paris, and he's like kind of giving the thumbs up, and it's super cheesy. I love it. Sara from Discovery. She was the green baddie from the last season.
Yeah.
Captain Michael Burnham, season 4, and they got some Klingon emblems. Like they got some tons of Lita, Chase Masterson.
Sure.
There we go. So lots of stuff. They're always doing stuff. They had a Christmas wreath with the Enterprise coming out, or Discovery coming out of it. Wow,
so awesome.
Lower Deck version of Troy and Riker.
Aww.
Very cool. So do what you do. You go and you shop and you put some stuff in your cart, and then you put in that unique code, Trek Geeks, all in caps, one word. Get yourself 10% off. Fansets. Their pins have character. And we thank our friends at Pansets. Coming soon. We sell cookware now too. We thank our friends at Fansets. So
thanks, Fansets.
I want some pins. When I go to STLV, I'm gonna get some in person. I want to see them and say hi. And I also want to get some more t-shirts. I'm gonna get some more Rewind t-shirts made, and maybe get a Trek Geeks t-shirt, or if I'm going to go to STLV, I need to have the proper wear.
Gotta look good. Gotta feel good.
Look good, feel good. It's not about how I look. It's about how I feel. There's a quote from Haley. Classic.
It's not about how good I look. It's about how good I feel.
Love it. Well, I know you have to get back to work, and that's why we want to keep this one short and simple. And you're going to go on vacation, so we'll be dropping this one later on at the end of April for folks to listen to, and then we'll record when you get back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's something in the works for when you get back. I won't say anything yet in case it doesn't pan through, but do be aware, folks, that in June, the birthday extravaganza will take place, and it will be the Bill and Dan coming back, and we're going to do the Deep Space Nine. Horrible, but I love it. Move along home. And if I have to go down on a bus to Haley's house and ply her with alcohol and make her watch it with me and live record, we will do that, because that would be actually a really fun thing to do.
I think that's a date.
I'm going to want to see you when you get back anyway. So maybe that's what we'll plan, is that I'll come over and we'll record together. We'll watch it
Okay.
first with Caesars, and then we'll record. That's a plan. It's a Sunday. Sundays for Caesars. It's God's day.
God's day.
All right. So
God's
to
plan.
close it out, thank you for listening. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks to Bill and Dan. Thank you to 5 Year Mission. Thank you to Fansets. Thank you, Patreon subscribers and listeners. I want more voicemails. We got 1 or 2. We get a couple of hit. We need our egos stroked so badly. We want to be told how awesome and funny we are. So just come on to Twitter and just say that stuff. Just do it. I share it all with Haley.
I need to hear that we're awesome from people other than like my parents.
Right. Thank you. Positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And on that note, Haley Frequencies closed. To
nice. Apparently.
Coconut.